Hey, I'm the Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is F1 2018 Career Mode Episode 28. We're with Williams Racing. We're late into the second season, and of course this is F1 2018, and in real life it's the 2019 season, so the awkwardness is getting ever more present as people get used to the new driver lineups. It's weird to see Kimi Räikkönen in a Ferrari and Charles Leclerc not, and in Sauber instead of Alfa Romeo, and Esteban Ocon driving Force India instead of Lance Stroll, and of course Force India instead of Racing Point, etc., etc. So that awkwardness is starting to become more evident as we get deeper and deeper here into the real-life 2019 season of Formula One. 6 races in now. So there's that aspect. But anyway, as we continue on here, this is the German Grand Prix. We're at the Hockenheimring. And we're at the end of free practice session number 3, where I have topped the timesheets. Now there's one reason and one reason only. Turn 1. I've figured turn 1 out, but I'm not doing it consistently. I did it on this lap where I got the 113.68, faster than everybody else by 0.3. The difference is about 0.7 of a second. So actually, looking at the timesheets, Bottas is 0.9 down in 4th place. So even without that gain on turn 1, I'm still putting in a good time. However, I'm all over the place in terms of consistency. I was 0.8 up on my target. So really that 4th place was right where I should have been. And outside of that turn 1, I'm pretty much running the lap times I should be, which is in the top 10. So there is that. But like I said, it's really inconsistent at this point. Sometimes turn 1 I don't get it right. I've spun out a couple times.
Fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive?
Team's really gelling. Sure.
You put in a lot of time on the track today. Was there a reason for this?
No, I did in FP2 because FP1 it rained. There we go.
You had an incredible pace in practice. Would you say that you're pretty comfortable with the car?
Handles beautifully on this track. There you go.
Great. Well, that's everything.
She does and she doesn't. Anyway. So, again, as I wrap up FP3 and get ready for qualifying, the consistency is not quite there. I've spun twice. I've even wrecked the car once. And I've really lost it in some corners. I got better as practice went on. I got purples in every single program, but I didn't always do it on the first lap. So, it's a lot going on. Like I said, the consistency is a little bit worrying. I got better as time went on, and I took the spins out besides one. So this could be an interesting race. I could be challenging for the points, or I could crash out and finish last. It's really hard to say. Hopefully I can keep it on track. Hopefully I've gained the consistency. I settled down in a few corners and took it easy, and that made a huge difference. And actually my times got better. So I learned where to push, where not to push, but sometimes the pushing does backfire. So we'll see what I can do both in qualifying and the race coming up. It is dry for qualifying in the race, and that really helps. It did rain in session 1, as I mentioned. Before I get into qualifying, though, couple things. Let's see. I now have 827 points after the practice program. I picked up a little over 600. I have 2 upgrades on the car currently. We have one in the engine department that was already purchased last week, oil pressure pump. It'll be ready for the next race in Hungary. So nothing else I can do there as the tree is blocked otherwise. And the aero department, at the beginning of the race weekend, I purchased an upgrade for the rear wing outer strakes. That'll be ready in 2 weeks. The front wing main plane was just finished, so that's one upgrade we had ready for this weekend, so a little more front downforce. It is helping with the cornering here for sure. And then I have 2 options here on additional upgrades, as the aero still has some work to do. I mean, we're middle of the pack now, and the car is far more drivable than it was at the beginning of the season. But we have a DRS, maximum slot gap, it's the last one, or we can open this tree, this bottom section. It's 3 weeks for this barge board upgrade, and actually I don't even have enough points for that yet. But I could get it before the race weekend ends, because guaranteed I'll get it by the end of qualifying. I think I might do that just for the longevity's sake of this part of the tree is not going to be unlocked. It looks like we have 2 DRS upgrades. Yeah, activation mechanism, that's cheap, $395. $634 for that. It's tempting though. Do I want an upgrade that'll be ready in 2 weeks? And then that'll be 2 of them. I'll be able to save money for a little bit. And that'll also bring aero up. How are we looking? Currently, that would be number 2. Way behind Ferrari, but that would still be number 2 as of right now. By the time we get there, it's probably going to be about number 3. But that's a good place to be by the time we slow it down and go for just a single upgrade. Let's do it. DRS. Here we go. And again, we'll be able to get one more here in a couple weeks as well. So we'll get that one and this one probably both at the same time here in a couple weeks. So we continue to make rapid progress on the aero, catching up with the field, and now starting to make our way towards the front. Chassis is already there. Chassis was tops for a long time. Ferrari has passed us, but we're still a comfortable number 2 on this list. The aero, the chassis will need attention again at some point, especially like this one that's highlighted. Tire wear, the tire blankets. It's a useful one. Of course, they have changed the rules on that in 2019, lowered the temperature. They're talking about getting rid of them entirely. But we will definitely be turning most of our attention to the powertrain here in the very, very near future. There you go. Car's finally reached midfield. And actually, technically, we are best of the rest right now, with Ferrari a clear advantage over everybody else. And then a very, very tightly packed midfield with us, small edge. Now, the next thing I need to look at before we get things started for qualifying, and actually, it's already too late. I've run FP3. It's a little late to change this up. 55% is our most worn part. That's okay. This is also the last weekend for the current gearbox. So the car's a little bit on the Ward side for this race. Let's head into qualifying. Let's see if I can replicate the lap. Hopefully I'll get multiple opportunities to do so, as we should be able to get through Q1 pretty easily if I can keep the car in check.
Where we're waiting for the lights to turn green in the pit lane to signify the start of the session here at the Hockenheimring for this weekend's German Grand Prix. Drivers tend to complain about tyre wear around this track, and the compounds on offer this weekend aren't likely to put that issue to bed. Is this going to be about who can make the tyres last?
Tyre wear is always something you have to consider to a certain degree. Finding a good car balance that suits the circuit will help prolong the life of the tyre, but it's true that some circuits, such as this one, are more challenging than others. How hard...
Alright, no rain. I do have custom setup. Not going to mess with it at this point. It's good how I want it. The car is very drivable. Let's go ahead and get our first lap in. Yep, park for me. I'm now locked in. I will jump straight to a flying lap.
Perhaps we should get out there before it gets busy.
Hopefully we have a little bit of a gap. It appears we do. We do. Okay. This is one of the trickier corners on the circuit. This is one of the areas where I really backed off. And it made such a difference. This is where I spun out a couple times. Here's where I was gaining an advantage, but I had taken it a little bit easier here, so that was not as much as I could have gained from it. Van Doren quickest so far. I think he was the first one out on track. It's hard having to take your hand off the wheel for that one, as it is such a tight corner. This is one of those areas where just take it a little bit easier, not 100% on the gas, and just kind of ease back into it. And it makes a big difference. Whoop. Ooh. Lost the rear end for a little bit there. I was way too hot coming into it. This is not a very good lap by my standards, but try to take it easy. Shifted too early. I would look at third so far. Might just go around again. I'm already down to fifth, but I'm only 0.3 of a second off the pace. Okay, I'm up 0.3 of a second on myself for this one, so better lap. Not as clean through there. Four-tenths of a second nearly up on my time. That's better. That's better. Fifth though, still. But I should be through Q1 with that, so we'll head back into the garage, see where we're at. Neither one of those laps were very clean, but I did clean up a few corners. I was trying to take it easy and just put in a representative time. And in doing so, I made more mistakes than it was worth.
Our fastest lap is a 1:14.6.
Purple Sector 1 has definitely been my thing. You can see just how far off the pace I was. Both Sector 2 and 3, I lost about 2 seconds there, while I'm only a 1/10 up here, so it's 2 seconds worth of mistakes. Let's see, Vettel, Leclerc, Ricardo, those two will go, 2 of those will go above me. But I think we're good. Maybe down to P12. This is iffy. I'm going to take my chance. No. 14th. 14th already. And Max Verstappen is on the bottom, so I need to get out there. I need to use another set of tires and try this again. That was not good. Not good at all. Straight into a flying lap. Let's try that again. Clean that up. Cleaned up a couple corners, but not enough. I need to push turn one a little bit more to get that advantage. And then just keep it clean otherwise. Like I said, I'm really inconsistent here. It's like I can do it, but I'm not doing it consistently. I think I can run consistently with good lap times for the race by backing off some, by qualifying. Yeah, warning. Pushed too hard there, but I'm up 0.4 of a second. And that's purple in sector 1. Oops. Seven tenths up. And still not the cleanest of laps. The area where I've had the most problems. That's a second faster, and that's up to P5. That's plenty to get through Q1.
You're doing a great job. We're much higher up the field than we expected to be.
4 seconds. Stayed in P5. Said I should easily be able to be up where I am. Red Bull's off the pace here. Max barely got through the session. Wow. All right, on to Q2. Got plenty of pace to get through. I mean, that still was not a perfect lap, but it was cleaner. A lot cleaner, and it jumped me right up to 5. Oh, there it is.
Are you all right?
That's the second time I've done that. I cut it too much. Okay. And now we start with that. So you gotta lift off just a little bit to get through there, and I can usually keep it without leaving the track. That was the second time this race weekend that I've done exactly what I did there. I cut it too tight, and then lost the rear end. Too much speed, cut it too tight, and got a little too much curve, and it disrupts the downforce, and around you go. be a good time. This will be a good time.
You've just put in the fastest lap. Good job.
Whew. Okay, that's my tricky spot in the race, and I'm not going to push as hard as I've pushed in qualifying because I don't want the result of what we got just a little bit ago. But we are fastest at the moment. We'll see if it stays that way, but I'm guessing that it is going to be a lap good enough for the top 10. 10 minutes remaining. It's 4th, but it's behind Big 3 so far. Sixth. Still missing a lap time from Ricardo. Ricardo still absent from the top 10 because Ricardo was eliminated in Q1. Oh, no, he wasn't. He got in last moment. Okay, there you go. So P7. Best of the rest. And that was similar both in Q1 and Q2. Though Red Bull was down the order a little bit. Arguably, I should be starting from the back of the grid anyway in this race. So if I do finish last, those of you claiming that, you could say, I got what I deserved. Let's see if I can make something of this race now. Q3, top 10 shootout. 7th would be a brilliant place for me, because if I could tuck in behind the Red Bulls and be fast enough to be ahead of the rest of the field, I could maybe find some clean air and race by myself for a while and just comfortably come home in P7. I think that would be a brilliant race result for us. Ooh, way wide. Still just a warning though, that's the thing, you get a warning. Can't do it in the race all race long, because it'll start coming out with time penalties, and it definitely will not be worth the half a second a lap when you're getting a 5-second penalty after doing it just a couple times. But qualifying's a different story. Much better job on that turn that time. It's a good lap, it's a good lap. Consistency's coming back a little bit.
You're pushing too hard. It's causing your gearbox to take increased wear.
Sorry, gearbox. That's what I need to do in the race. Just lift and coast through turn 1 a little bit. Stay in 7th. Get back on it after. That should be the kind of lap that'll get me right around 7th place.
So far, our fastest lap is a 1 minute 12.7.
That is all my Ultra Softs used. Got one set of softs left, and that is all. Second fastest right now. Whew. I'm gonna take that lap. I don't have any more tires anyway. You can see there, Sector 1, I'm a half a second faster than Vettel. And then I'm close in Sector 2 and Sector 3. I'm competitive in those two sectors, and that's the difference. Just cleaned it up on the rest. And Sector 1 wasn't even that great. Like I said, I can gain as much as 7/10. I gained 5/10 because I ran wide. but it's so tricky.
You
It
dropped
really,
to
really
P2.
hurt things. Dropped? Been in P2 for a while. But I'm going to take that time. Here's our top 10 shootout. Grosjean does not have a time in yet, and he's slow. He's 9th, so final minute. Guys out on track. They're going to bump me
The grid is
down.
all set then for the
But
race tomorrow.
P4, I
Let's
split the
quickly remind ourselves
Mercedes.
of our top 3, who are Vettel, Raikkonen, and Lewis Hamilton.
I almost wanted to be
Qualifying
7th, though.
complete, all that remains is the main event.
'Cause
We'll be
now I have
live
trouble.
and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
That was the cleanest lap I was going to get. So there was no point going out there again, especially with no tires left. But P4, amazing, amazing qualifying result. And I'm in with a chance for this race. I definitely have the pace. However, as you saw, it's tricky. It's really tricky. So I will not be able to push as hard as I did in qualifying. Nobody does. But I'm going to lose more time. So 7th would be a good result. I've got to keep a clean race. This is a little bit of a wider track. There's a little more space to run. But last year, I got taken out in a pretty good position and had multiple crashes in this one. This is good. Rivalries, both right on the verge. Still super, super close with Sorokin, though. I've won 3 times. He won the last one. It'd be nice to get back on the winning side ever so slightly. It's been a difficult season this sophomore year, mostly just because the AI level got turned up a lot, and I transitioned from a gamepad that I've been using for years and years and years to a racing wheel, and I hadn't had a racing wheel in 25 years since I was a little kid. And actually, I think that's a little too far back, but about 22, 23 years anyway. Team's happy about that one. Boom. There you go. Reputation topped out.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Okay, what do we got? Pre-race. Good. How is that contract looking now? My value's gone up a little bit. Okay, 380, nothing else I can do right now. Yeah, we're going to save those points. So I already made our second choice, right? I did. And the car is what it is. It's a bit worn in this race. Imagine what I could be doing with brand new parts on everything. But somewhere right around next week, we'll have a lot of new parts on the car.
Your quote-unquote value to a team is built from your overall respect, reputation within that team, and your sportsmanship or showmanship alignment. During negotiations, the higher your perceived value is, the better the perks you'll be able to ask for in your contract.
Okay, let's get to the race weekend. Two flashbacks at my disposal. That's the limit currently. And if we have a good weekend and score some points, that might get knocked back down to 1.
It's the Hockenheimring, home of the German Grand Prix. Always good for a close scrap is Hockenheim. Think back to Alonso, Ricciardo, Vettel as recently as 2014, and I'm expecting some more strong racing today. With average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour, the Hockenheimring is a quick circuit with a lap distance of 2.8 miles, around 17 corners. The main DRS zone through Parabolica leads into the hairpin for the best overtaking opportunity on the track. So before the off, Let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion, edging out Raikkonen, who'll start P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, the Professor, Valtteri Bottas, and Ricciardo, Verstappen, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, and Roman Grosjean, Ocon, Ericsson, Sergio Perez, and Gasly, Alonso, Leclerc, Sergei Sirotkin, and Brendan Hartley. Sainz and Stoffel van Dorn completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
This is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix. Let's give them a race worth watching.
Alright, so I'm locked in on the Ultras. We have a choice of going 4 laps or 5. Let's go ahead and go 5 so we can get out there a little bit before we come in. Now, fuel's not a big problem here because there's plenty of places where you can lift and coast to save some fuel. And we have just 0.6 extra. That's not a lot. Okay, well, that's that. I suppose we are ready to go racing from row 2 on the grid. Turn 1 coming up first, and I've got that advantage at turn 1. However, I'm not used to running turn 1 the way they would. I did follow Nico Hülkenberg for a couple of laps and ultimately passed him during practice as a little bit of preparation to get used to things. But I definitely need to find some clear air and soon. And the only way I'm going to find that is if I get out front or if I get into P7. I do have an advantage at turn 1, but I'm very nervous about turn 1 and turn 2 here at the start of the race. And what is it, turn 5, turn 6, the hairpin? If I'm close enough, that could be a problem. Closing up on the back end of somebody, but otherwise there's plenty of width in there for the braking zone to kind of get that sorted out, so it shouldn't be an issue, the hairpin, especially this far up the grid. Doesn't mean it won't be. But with that, let's go racing. We're going to put 5 red lights up here in Hockenheim at the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix. And don't mess up the start. Don't mess up the start. Been playing a lot of Dirt Rally 2, different start mechanism. Okay, here we go. The red lights are up. Raikkonen slow off the line. Whoop. Oh, come on. There goes the first one, and it wasn't Raikkonen, it was Hamilton, but it was still on me. Alright, here we go. Okay, I backed off. I conceded 4th place, but I got through it. Sadly, it already used up one of my 2 flashbacks on the first turn of the race.
You're causing unnecessary wear to your transmission. Try to take it easy, or we risk losing it.
I nearly... Oh, come on, really?
Okay, box. We're adjusting the strategy. Come in this...
First lap of the race. And that was just purely I was taken out from behind. By Verstappen. Give him the inside. Park it. Go wide of the apex, force him out. And there's P5 secured. Whoa! Whoa! Oh gosh, I can't get it in reverse. It won't go in reverse. Okay, I suppose I've got to use a flashback here. It's not giving me another option. I had no reverse. And we have to go right from here. So, still experienced a problem, a major problem, and we're gonna have to pit. And that's not because I used. What do you mean speeding? I did not speed in the pit lane. I was down to 20 miles an hour. Okay. Alright. We're going to go from right here. That does not count. I was going 20 miles an hour. That was not speeding in the pit lane. Jeez, I was almost at a stop. Having enough problems already. Are you kidding me? First lap. And ultimately it becomes 3, 4.
Complete, go now.
So we're going to fight from the back. And go, oh well.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
No more stops, so that gives me a small chance still. How far back I am, we'll find out here shortly. Gotta stay calm, because I already make a mistake. Cold tires here. There's everybody coming out from the air pit, so they're up there a ways, but they're not up there that far. A few good laps here before the top 10 all pit, and I could just about be behind them.
Gearbox wear, try to keep your number of shifts to a minimum.
From here on out, though, whatever happens is what happens. So, no flashbacks the rest of the race. After just one lap. So now we're kind of into time trial mode before top 10 pit, and I don't know if I'll be close enough to the top 10 or not. I've obviously lost some time, but the lucky thing for me, there's the debris. Right
Okay, entering lap
by the
3
box,
now.
so
DRS has been enabled.
and no warning that time. Now I still need to go through and adjust my ERS. Just gonna set it to 2, let it run for a while. Fuel mix plus 0.34. Really wide
Is
there.
boxed for the mediums. Car
Ooh,
behind on medium
Hockenheim's
tyre.
behind us. I wonder if it's Hockenberg who hit me.
Okay, gap ahead is 8.1 seconds. Caution, caution.
Ooh, somebody else having a problem? Perez out of the race. Purple sector 1, there's Perez off to the right side there in the grass. And we should be in the clear now.
Green flag.
said, I needed clean air. Sadly, the only way I ended up getting it was losing my wing on lap 1 and having to pit right away. With Perez out and Hülkenberg, the other one involved, apparently in my incident. That puts me in P18. I think he went around a whole lap before deciding to pit. The only thing that's going to keep me in this race potentially is the fact that it happened right in front of pit road. So I only lost a few seconds plus the time to change the wing, which was an additional few seconds. So maybe 6 seconds lost. And that's something that can be overcome, definitely. Lap 5 now, so we're going to start to get the top 10 pitting. And I see cars.
Sergey is in for his stop.
Ooh, lost the rear end a little bit there, saved it. Okay, I'm up to P14. Oh, things are going good now compared to how they've been. Again, traffic is not my friend.
Has come in. They're now on the soft tyre. Softs on the car behind.
Whew, that was close.
Gap to teammate behind is 9.
Almost lost the rear end.
Seconds.
The last couple laps, noticed I was braking through there and taking it easy and not running any risks. I'm up to P9. I'm up to P9. Maybe I can find that open air and still get P7 in this race. There we go. That's taking it a little bit easy. That's gaining 2 or 3 tenths of a second instead of gaining a ton of time, but it takes out a lot of the risk.
Gap to car in front is 5.8 seconds.
And I'm gaining on Grosjean, who's currently in P8. And as far as I know, Grosjean has not hit yet. A little wide that time. It's Alonso now behind me in P10. Okay, things are going well. Much better than expected. Still P9, a little bit closer to Grosjean, not gaining much time. Alonso's not far behind me. I need to actually maybe take a look here next time. Yeah, he's just coming around the hairpin now, so it's still a pretty good gap. I have no idea if everybody in front of me has pit or not. Just a little wide, pushed it a little more there. And in pushing a little bit harder, you can see my fuel load's coming down just a little bit. Mini-map, they're stacking up behind me. It's a Toro Rosso right behind Alonso. A little wide there. Ooh, messed that one up too. Starting to think about those guys behind me. Getting nervous. And just focus on me. I'm in a really good spot here. P9. After what happened on lap 1. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Just surviving the race.
The gap to the car ahead is 6.6 seconds.
And they are getting closer behind. I've lost 1 second on Grosjean, but they're definitely gaining behind me, so myself an issue here. Uh-oh, I can't shift. Can't shift. My gearbox, this is the last race for this gearbox. Oh, I can't shift down either. It's not shifting. It's not shifting. Come on. It's not shifting.
Our gap behind is 2.
There goes Alonso.
Seconds.
Still not working right. Still not working right. Oh, come on. Come on, gearbox. Come on. Come on. We're definitely gonna... Uh-oh, he's on my inside. He's on my inside.
Down slightly and showing some minor wear.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's getting more responsive here. It's too late, though. There goes Leclerc. Oh, shoot. It was Gasly.
That front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
Not my fault. I got a gearbox problem. And it's not self-correcting. And it's not even that worn. Goes the next car. Carlos Sainz. Ah! Here's somebody going, I told you so. You get what you deserve.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace. Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Yeah, I'll take that warning.
There's 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Come on, come on, come on. Oh, this is the corner that's absolutely killing me here. Come on. Come on. I'm stuck in 7th gear. Damn it. Ooh, did that snap it up? Did it snap out of it? Gearbox is working better. Gearbox is working better. I think that rough road. But I'm all the way down to P19. I'm last place. Remember, Perez is out of this race. So the moment I got to last place, it started working. That was, what, 5 laps? 6 laps?
The turbocharger is on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. Our gap to the car in front is 1.5 seconds.
I want this now. I'm hungry.
There's
Not
3
quite
laps of
DRS
fuel
range.
remaining.
Last 3 laps of the race. Lost the rear end. Just lost a big chunk of time there. My tires are pretty well gone now, so it's harder to push than before. Oh gosh. Please no 5 second. Okay.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Oh, that was my best time through the hairpin all race long. But here we are. Hockenheimring and company ahead. Just got around south of Van
Some
Doren.
information on Hartley. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
There we go. There we go. Whoa, almost got myself lapped. Ran very wide there. Oh! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, that was close.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.6 seconds.
Oh gosh, hitting wrong buttons here. Oh, those guys are behind me though. I made a pass. I made a pass. 2 of them, to be exact. It's still only P17, but it's something.
Less than a lap of fuel now.
After that
Tank is empty.
stupid gearbox issue that lasted so long before it finally cleared itself up, I lost a ton of time from that, and I would have been 9th place in this race had it not taken place. So not last.
Take care of the car on the way in.
You gotta be kidding me. I was so unlucky that my gearbox did not last through the race. And it was only 66% worn entering the race. 66. That is not a lot. That is not a lot at all. And I ran so well outside of lap 1
Then there's being quick lap after lap after lap.
and outside of the
With
gearbox
that,
issue.
You can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's
Vettel takes the win. Verstappen takes 6th. Wow. Bad race weekend for
Here
him.
come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling
Yeah.
Grand Prix.
Ferrari 1-2. Their car
Drama
is so
and
dominant right
excitement
now.
are over,
Bottas in
and it's
3rd.
time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today.
So
then,
Bottas
it's
gets
time
into
to see
3rd
how
over
this
Hamilton.
result affects the Drivers' Championship. Sebastian Vettel takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Moving on to the driver of the day then. Anthony Davidson, who would you go for?
Probably Carlos Sainz. You know, strong pace, good work with the strategy, just a very complete drive, I think.
On to the constructors
I
then.
lost 18
Ferrari
seconds
extend their
or
lead
more,
at the top
20
of the
seconds
championship.
in that stretch.
There'll be plenty more twists and turns to come this season. I hope you can join us at the next race to see just who will come out on top.
Vettel 2 points above Hamilton in the championship now. Raikkonen is just 7 points down. Bottas 65, and then Verstappen and Ricciardo well behind, level on 68 points. Perez, best of the rest, finished last today. I should have had points. Shame I couldn't get them. It only would have been 2, but it's still 2 points is 2 points. Alonso wouldn't have scored points today. Leclerc would have been in 10th after getting around Alonso, if I could have held off Leclerc anyway. I know they were slowly gaining on me. But the gap did ultimately hold between Grosjean and Leclerc. It was 9 seconds. It had 9.5 seconds. It was a 10-second gap. I was in the middle of that. 5 seconds down at one point, 6 seconds down at one point, 7 seconds down at one point. So in and around 5 to 7 seconds, which put me kind of right in the middle of that gap. So unlucky that I had the gearbox problem. Puts me to the back of the grid, and fortunate result. Hopefully I still have the quick time over Hartley
Great work out
and
there today.
over
How do you
Sorokin.
think it went? Do you think your rival learned from his battle with you?
Okay, fine. They want showmanship, so there you go.
That was an epic battle today.
I would never say
How
that,
do you think
though.
this will play out?
There you go, double showmanship.
Do you have any comments about the collisions?
No comment. Sorry. Not all of those are negative.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah. So close to a solid 9th place. There you go. Got it. Both rivalries won. Oh, so close this time, and I did come from behind. I was behind initially. Much better of late. Rivalry won. 500 bonus points. Nice. Team didn't care for the result too much.
Well, let's hope for a better race next time out, eh?
Alright, well, hey, that's going to do it for this episode on Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.